All right, and our Commitment 2018 coverage tomorrow is Election Day, and this morning we are joined by Republican gubernatorial candidate Kevin Stitt, and I know y'all are interested in this. Posted this up on my Facebook page that you were coming. We got dozens of questions. Kevin Stitt, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning.
A lot of people are still wanting to talk through the issues this morning, even though we are just, less than 24 hours out from casting the ballots. Okay, let's start here. This race is being called a toss-up. Do you agree?
We think it's going to be close. We feel like we have all the momentum. The polls that we're seeing, we're up 3 to 5 points. But people are just ready for change. That's what we're hearing all over. People are tired of career politicians. They're ready for somebody from outside the political status to run state government. My opponent's been in state government since 1974. So we feel like we have all the momentum. People are ready for that vision for us to be a top 10 state.
When you talk about that, for any other job, experience is a positive, and we look to people to have experience. Why, when it comes to politics, is experience been called a dirty word?
Well, this is, neither one of us have been governor before, and this is a chief executive role. So then you go back and look at our resumes, and I've been leading. I've got a 1,200 person company. We've been hiring people, setting strategy, setting the vision, making tough decisions, being fiscally responsible, making sure those dollars get into the projects. These are all things that we need as a governor. We don't need an attorney. We don't need somebody that's been in politics since 1974. Nothing's going to change if we keep electing the same political elites in our state.
And we know you have been busy running a company. You have not voted in a gubernatorial election since 1999, and you said that you were busy building and running your company. Do you regret not taking part in the political process?
Well, here's the deal. I've voted for President Trump. I've voted before, but that's the wrong question. I should have been more involved, absolutely. But the right question is, there's plenty of people at 23rd and Lincoln with perfect voting records because that's what politicians do. And we need somebody. The right question is, what is the resume? What's the skill set? What does the job entail? And it's about hiring the right people, setting the vision, putting the plan together, going and executing on it. This is not rocket science. Our state is at the bottom of every category we should be at the top at. This is going to take a leadership position, and that's why I'm ready to lead. That's why I'm the right candidate to move our state forward.
You rejected Mary Fallon's endorsement, and then in a recent ad you mentioned that Mary Fallon, she's part of the problem. So what specific policies of Fallon's do you disagree with, and what would you have done differently?
Here's the deal. When I look at my opponent now or the current administration, they think state government is okay, the structure of it. My opponent said there's nothing wrong with the structure of state government. I think there's everything wrong with that. That's why I am asking for the authority to hire and fire the agency heads, not to be a bad guy, but to create the type of accountability that we're all used to. Until we can actually deliver better services and get our dollars, our $20 billion budget, into our hospitals and our rural health care, into our nursing homes, into our roads and bridges, into our school system, nothing's going to change. Here's the deal. We need more taxpayers. We don't need more taxes. And the government can never spend enough money, but that's the answer that politicians always think is, well, let's just tax their citizens more. And I want to make sure that we structurally look at how other states are set up, because there's other states have better roads and bridges than us, better health care, better educational outcomes. We've got to start focusing and asking the right question. As a business person, I'll make sure those dollars get into the projects where they need to be.
And you're projecting the large tax revenues, right, as one way for our state to recover. What if you're wrong? Economic numbers around the world are softening. Central banks are becoming less accommodating. And some say the GOP or the GDP growth in the U.S. is a temporary boost because of the tax package. What will you do if tax revenues aren't what you expect?
Well, first off, with the economy recovering, we've got about $500 million there. Last year, the Republicans passed a $500 million tax increase. So we have about $1 billion more in revenue. But here's the issue. I want to throw it back on my opponent. What's he going to do with his tax increase when oil goes back to $20 a barrel? Let me just say something to Oklahomans, that in a $20 billion budget, 1.5% efficiencies is $300 million. I guarantee you I can find 1.5% efficiencies when we structure the state government like we need to and we hold people accountable. We saw it with the Department of Health last year. That was only a $400 million agency, and they had lost $30 million and had to lay off 200 Oklahomans. That won't happen in a Stitt administration.
Let's take some questions from Facebook. We got so many of them. Marco says, I see Stitt as a divider, and his entire campaign has been personal attacks and cliches like Hillary lovers. What could he possibly say to make me think if elected, it wouldn't just be business as usual, kickbacks and corruption that we have seen for the last 8 years? How do you respond?
Well, first off, what's his name?
His name is Marco.
Marco. What I would say to Marco is, I've already started building relationships. I've already called all 101 House members, all 48 senators. I ask every one of them, how can I do a better job? And they all tell me, have a plan, meet with us, come hang out with us. They need a leader. And as a business person, Marco, I don't see it as a Republican or Democrat or rural versus urban. It's just a problem. And we have been trying to solve this by hiring these career politicians. We have to have somebody from outside to fix this problem. But I'm a pragmatist, and I'm gonna move our state forward. We're gonna be a top 10 state in job growth, education, infrastructure, and it shouldn't be a Republican or Democrat or rural versus urban. And so I can't wait to bring people together, and I'll be doing that as governor.
Kelly asks, why is he bashing the other candidate on each commercial? Why doesn't he just give facts on himself only instead of saying only negative things about his opponent? I'd much rather hear facts on him only. People do complain about the negative ads, but you felt it was necessary.
Well, what they need to understand is some outside groups dropped about $2 million trying to tie me to the current administration. That's what my opponent did from the very beginning. So he started running negative ads on me 3 weeks early. And he also tries to deceive Oklahomans by saying that I don't care about teachers or education, which couldn't be farther from the truth. From the very beginning, I've told teachers and I've told everywhere I've gone that we have to pay teachers market. And in my education plan, I have a plan to move teachers to #1 in the region. We're not going to look backwards, folks. We're going to be focused on the future in our state. And so the misinformation is just so frustrating. And I agree with your viewers. That's what's so bad about politics. It's not about the resumes of the candidates. It's about who can run the best commercials or the most negative commercials on their opponent. And but it was very frustrating for me when he tried to deceive Oklahomans that #1, we don't have a good company, and #2, that we don't like education, which couldn't be farther from the truth.
Along those lines, Sally says, I know that you have children. What is your focus on public education, and do they attend public schools?
So, 95% of our kids go to public schools. I went to Norman High School, went to Norman Public Schools all the way through. And so that's where our funding has to focus. So from the very beginning, I've said we're going to focus on funding public education first. And in a Stitt administration, the goal is to be top 10 in education, and that's what we're going to drive towards. But it's more than just Common Ed. I like to explain, as a state, we fund Common Ed, but there's also career techs and higher ed. And I'm going to break through the silos and make sure that we're focused as a state on the outcomes, getting our kids ready for the workforce.
If you are elected governor, will you move your family to Oklahoma City from Tulsa?
Yes.
You will?
Yep, we're looking forward to it, and we'll be moving down here. And we're going to let them finish the school year in Tulsa, and I'll be commuting. And then after the school year's out, my daughter's a senior, then we'll move to the city.
Okay, real quickly, because we are running out of time, but I have to ask you, a lot of people will ask female candidates about their family and how will you balance being, whatever the office is, and now if this is governor, how do you balance that with your family, and how do you make it all work? It's going to be a huge, huge time commitment.
Sure. I think we'll have to set aside a couple of nights a week where it's just family nights where we don't get booked up, because I know there'll be a lot of pull on you as governor to go everywhere around the state. But that's why I'm running for governor and not anything nationally or anything like that. Is I've got a young family, and I'm going to move and be home in the evenings with the family. But this is what we're supposed to do. Our forefathers never envisioned career politicians. They thought somebody would leave their farmer business, go serve their state. I'm looking forward to moving to Oklahoma City and being together as a family and turning our state around.
Kevin Stitt, we appreciate your time. We know that you're busy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and we'll be watching tomorrow for sure, no doubt. Okay, one final look at your candidates for governor. We have interviewed all 3 candidates within the last week. You can find all of those interviews under Meet the Candidates, the tab on our website, as well as the mobile app, and we will post this one there as well.